surrender is not a one-time thing. Neither is beholding. It's not a one-time thing, and it's really so constant.
Man, trust. Trust is hard. I don't even know how to say this without just diving in and getting vulnerable.
Welcome back to the Radiant Podcast. My name is Sean, and we are going to be joining Natasha and Rachel again. If you have not listened to their last podcast episode, I encourage you to listen to that one first. We get to know them, their history as worship leaders and songwriters, and we talk through the story behind All Eyes on Jesus. For this episode, though, we're going to kind of part to it, and we're going to talk about the song that they wrote together, Everything for Jesus. And so I'm really excited to jump back into our conversation. We had a great conversation just a little bit ago, and we'll get right back into it. So welcome back, Natasha and Rachel. Natasha, my beautiful bride of 15 years, and Rachel, my friend for maybe 15 years.
Many years,
maybe 16, 17 years. Yeah. So, So we spent some time getting to know you guys. We won't go through that part again, but I mean, you guys have been called as worship leaders, songwriters since 15, 16 years old. And now you are not 15, 16, and you are still loving Jesus and still writing amazing songs, leading worship together. And so I wanted to kind of talk through one of my favorite songs, actually. I don't know why. I love the song so much, but Everything for Jesus. And so I kind of wanted to know from you guys, like, what was the, we've kind of coined it like the story behind the song. Like, what was the starting point of that song for you? What was the moment? Was it something that you were reading or talking with the Lord about, or was like a kind of like a moment from your past that sparked something as you were writing that song together?
Yeah, I think, honestly, a lot of the language comes from soon after COVID. I feel like there was a few of us that were reading the book Adoration, and just a lot about Mary of Bethany and sitting at his feet. And so I think, honestly, a couple years before that, it was kind of forming just some of those phrases and wording, and just like the beauty of Jesus and him being our one thing and sitting at his feet. And so I feel like that's kind of what started me there. And then I think even Pastor Lee might have been doing a series on Colossians, and I think it was Colossians, and I just kept hearing that phrase,
like
preeminence, and that phrase, everything for Jesus, just like I kept thinking it and feeling it, and I would be in a prayer meeting and I would just kind of like sing around it a little bit, and it just kind of morphed from there with Rachel. And so
I love that book, Adoration.
So good.
it messed me up.
You highlight things and you're like, I've highlighted the whole book.
Yeah, it's the whole book. I remember I was reading it on vacation, and I would read a section, and then I'd have to stand up and walk away.
Yes.
I'm like, it's so good. Overload. So good. That's cool. I didn't actually know that book kind of was instigating some things in you. For me, the genesis of this song was hearing all of what Natasha already had for the song and being like, yes, that song needs to be written and finished.
I'm trying to remember. So All Eyes on Jesus, we talked about that in another episode. That one kind of came together, some different kind of choruses and things. But Everything for Jesus, I remember I was more aware, I was more involved in the actual process of it. And I'm trying to remember, was Rachel just saying, hey, let's write a song together, and you had like stuff inside of you?
I think so. I think you were like, let's write. And I was like,
I think I remember it. It was different because
I remember coercing Natasha to write.
What I remember. Like All Eyes on Jesus, it was a moment. You sang, something came out of you, then it's like, hey, let's grab that. And then Everything for Jesus, I remember the conversation. I'm trying to remember. I remember it was like a Tuesday night or something, like at our house.
Yeah.
And it was, Rachel wants to write a song with me. I don't write. I don't know what to do.
I don't like her very much.
I don't write songs. I was like, what are you talking about? That's all you basically just songwrite. You're just singing all the time. And I remember you kind of just opened up your journal, and it was just full of it's just full of choruses, by the way. If you ever need something, I'll steal it and sell it to you. But
Yeah.
it's just full of like just phrases and choruses. And you're like, well, there's these like 7 phrases that I really like. And then so she just starts singing them. So I jump on the piano and I'm trying to like, there's so much here. There's what to do. And so I remember we kind of voice memoed it, we threw it back to you and then you threw, it was just like a,
Well, it was almost to the point where it was like, it was happening quickly.
It
And
was
then
happening
Rachel's
very
like, I have the bridge, like the entire bridge.
Yeah.
I don't even think we ever adjusted
and then you're like,
it.
great,
It was
this is
just like,
awesome because I'm leading it
that's
on
all we
Sunday.
needed
We're
was
like,
the bridge.
wait, whoa, it's done? Like, it is? Yeah, it was
Because I feel
great.
like we had like the verses and chorus, and then like that was kind of being formulated, and then it was just formed, and then it was like, Rachel has the entire bridge, and it's like, yeah, let's do it. And
Which
so
I
it
want to talk about
happened-
the bridge in a second.
It happened
but
quickly.
It happened very quickly, but a lot of it though was
it was in my journal.
It was all in your journal
for sure.
Yeah, and so talk about that. So like, I know we're not getting behind like, like, okay, so when you write choruses, what do you think about? But it's like, what was that journaling moment then? Like, were you just praying with the Lord? Was like, what was like, were you just writing down? Like, how did those phrases come into your journal?
Yeah, I think they come in different moments. I actually remember I was sitting outside Aldi, I think. And I like
we actually go on dates there. We just sit outside Aldi.
It's not that magical inside. But I was like singing like a voice memo to myself, and it was like the not an ounce is wasted. I remember just like I was just sitting in the car, and so I think there's these moments when I just sit down and be like, okay, God, like what do you have to say? It's like no, like that's just not my jam. I don't like that. It feels too pressury, and but I feel like there's just like moments where I feel phrases, and I'm like, I do want to be a good steward of them, and I'm not always very good at that. But I just jot it down in my notes in my phone or in my journal. And I think even what Pastor Lee was preaching on too is just like phrases that stand out to me or that they touch a place of my heart. And so I'm like, I have to write this down because it's not just about putting it into a song. It's about like, this is actually ministering to me. And that's what I love about choruses and songs. It's like, this is actually more for me than for anyone else. Like, this is so much deeper.
Well, and that's what we talked about in the last episode with you guys is it's like you wrote, actually, no, I'm sorry. We talked about this last night.
I was not there.
No, you were not there.
Rachel was not there.
No, we were talking about this episode. And so, she was sharing some thoughts with me, and I was reading some thoughts she had, and one of the things you said, maybe I'll say this, and I ruined it, but one of the things you said is like you wrote, I think it was All Eyes on Jesus. You wrote the song and then it was like years later you were walking through some like pain and disillusionment on things, and having that song was like a weapon for you. It was like and so it was like it was, and so even as you said it now, it's like I wasn't like. You're not trying to write like I got to write a radio hit. Like I got to crank out for the next publisher. It's like no, I'm writing something that's like this is touching my heart. Like this is for me right now.
For sure.
And so, so you're capturing those ideas, throw down a journal.
Yeah, and just having them in a journal, and it does just sit there. A lot of the time, it just sits there. And
she's got like 45.
And then I go back to the journals, and I'm like, wow, yeah. Like sometimes I'm like. Wow, like the Lord really was like moving, and just the beauty of some of the phrases, and and just being a good steward of it. I do want to grow in that area too, but just lots of random phrases or in prayer meetings, just something sticks out and something someone says or just catches my attention. It's like, no, I want to write that down.
So Rachel, on the bridge, I've never heard the first line in my life, which is like, here's my song. Here's my love. Sorry, here's our love, wrapped in human language, packaged in a song. Where did that come from? Like that's such a beautiful,
so
poetic phrase. And it does like it captures what we just said. It captures it in like so many words. And so where did that stir inside of you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I had heard Natasha's start of this song, which was like most of the song already done because it had been in her journal. And so I went home and I just sat down at the piano and I was like, what what else needs, like, that's kind of how I view bridges, is what isn't said yet that, like, this song has to say.
Yeah.
And every time I would sing the chorus, the place I always wanted to go was to give him everything. How can I give you everything in a bridge, in a moment? I can't.
If I'm saying everything is for you, how do I? Yeah,
like, I want to like do this. And when I worship, I feel like I'm pretty animated. Like I like to move a lot, move my hands a lot. And I kind of had this picture of like, here's my love. Like, I want to give it to you. I want to express this in such a way. And I think just that like physical movement kind of began to inspire that line.
Yeah.
Like, I want to, we're physical. Like we live in a physical world. And so I'm like, I want to give you something that's tangible. Like, here's my heart. Yes, my love. But like, I want to feel it going. I want to see it going to you. And so wrapped in human language, packaged in a song, like all of a sudden I'm seeing a gift to give. It's not just kind of my ethereal heart. This is, so that's where it came from, is, the one and only, like, wow, that's a cool line. I like it.
It's so good. It's really
I'm happy about it. But this is one of my favorite songs that I've ever gotten to be a part of. And I think it's just because it's got my own heart cry in it, right? It was your heart cry. And I'm like, yes and amen to that. Like, I agree. I want to give everything to Jesus too. Like, that's what my life has been about. That's what I want the rest of my life to be about. Yeah. And so, getting to be a part of it was just a dream. And I think too, what made it go quickly at the end and what felt easy was because this was something that we both like care about a ton, trying to live our lives in such a way. And so the language was there. It felt accessible. Like, still, we had to work for it a little bit, but it was like, it's in us.
But it for sure is my favorite song as well. Like, it's not just because it's mine or Rachel's. Like, it really is like such a centering song, and like just aligning yourself again. Like, I want to be at your feet, and like, I want to give you everything. So it's just always a good one. Like, I could pull it out. There's songs, they get old and it's ballad and normal, but like, I do feel like I could sing this song many times and not get tired of it. So
that's true.
Just a special song.
So you had started to phrase this a little bit. It was, this song was really easy to write, really fast to write, because it's funny because you didn't really know that the book you were reading, like the similar book created some of the similarities, but it's like we had some of the same language, or we had the same language, and we're both trying to walk this out in our lives. So what does that look like for you? Like, as you are, again, this song is very much surrender. It's that, as you're talking about the book Adoration, but it's that very much Mary Bethany. It's laying at the feet of Jesus. It's offering every ounce. It's that surrender language. So practically, like, what does that look like for you guys? How have you had to wrestle through that through your years of relationship with the Lord? And so I'd just love to hear that.
I think, again, like we talked about in the All Eyes for Jesus podcast, surrender is not a one-time thing. Neither is beholding. It's not a one-time thing, and it's really so constant. And I think practically it is trust. Like, I feel like those words are kind of synonymous, surrender and trust. Like, you have to trust him in order to surrender. So how do you trust him? It's like, okay, like, I'm going to look at my history with you. I'm going to look at my journal. I'm going to hear people's testimonies. I'm going to, like, remember again that you are who you say you are. And that leads me to a place of, like, what I think is best, like, actually what you think is best is even better. And so just that surrender and giving to him. And so I think there's such an element of trust in that. And practically, how do I trust him? It's like, well, I'm going to read stories about you and look at you.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, man, trust is hard. I don't even know how to say this without just diving in and getting vulnerable. Like I think about the line in the song in the bridge about, oh gosh, something about it's tears again. It's the tears
Sown
in
in
worship.
tears of
Sown in
worship,
tears of
yeah.
worship. Like
Giving you our all,
yeah,
trust, yeah.
I can look
trust,
back.
I don't know, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. Do any of us know how this song goes? I don't know if we do.
She's literally corrected me every time.
No. Have you heard this song before?
No,
it's really good. You should
listen to it afterwards.
Yeah, it'd be great. But looking back at the, my however many years I've been alive, and seeing the moments of surrender, and none of them were easy. The moments where we use the word waste in the song, like not an ounce is wasted, but those moments where we are giving, for me, like giving to the Lord, like the time spent, the energy, the resources, the giving of myself and my life is like, oh, okay. This is surrender. And surrender and trust, like it's like you think you do, you do it. You're like, I got this.
Yeah.
And then there's the leveling up, the next level of surrender, the next level of like, God, do I trust you? Will I surrender in this moment? And so I think, this song feels really special and significant to me, because every time I sing it, I'm like, not only saying in the future everything for Jesus, but there's this remembrance piece to it for me too. I'm always also looking back and say, wow, like that moment of surrender, that painful whatever, it was worth it. I'm gonna do it again. I love this song. It messes me up every time I sing it. I just
No, for real. It's interesting when you started to talk about the phrase, the lyric of like not an ounce is wasted, because it's one thing to say like, all right, God, I'm going to give you this, but it's because it's like, I don't know, and I could be incorrect the way I'm thinking about it, but it's this. I see like two pictures. One is like, okay, I'm going to give you my offering, and that's like one act of it. But then there's like the second part of that act, which is saying that there's not a single ounce of what I'm giving to you, though, that I believe it's not a waste. Because it's like, you could almost say, yes, I'll give this to you, but in your head, you're like, I could be giving my life or my strengths or my talents or my money or my whatever devotion to something else. Yes, I'm begrudgingly surrendering to you. But it's like, no, actually, not only am I surrendering, I'm actually saying that not a single thing that I'm giving to you is a waste. And that takes... like the choice of surrender in the moment, that's in the moment. The believing not an ounce is wasted, that takes years, because you have to look back and be like, I believe that wasn't a waste. And so like, maybe you could speak a little bit about that. And I don't, if you guys don't want to get too vulnerable, it's fine. But it is it's one thing to like surrender to Jesus. But like, if you are, like I said, choosing to believe that nothing is wasted, like that takes a story, it takes a history with the Lord to look back and see it. So I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, and if you don't have thoughts, it's fine, you can talk about something else, but I don't know if you have anything that you want to say on that.
Yeah, I think there's things that we surrender in different seasons, and we're like, well, I actually really loved that, or I would like to do that again, even just like occupationally, or just different things that you love, and you're like, actually, I feel you calling me to lay this down in this season. And I think there is like such a beauty of like even the Lord bringing those things back, and like our surrender isn't wasted, because He redeems, He restores, He brings it back even better than like what you picture and imagine. And so I think that is the beauty of it, is that it's not wasted, because the things that we give up, like there's always something better. But again, in the moment, we can't see that, but there's always fruit and beauty that comes from the stories that He writes. And I think it's easy. Like, I always have this picture of us taking the pen out of his hand. Like, he's the author of the story, but we're like, actually, I want to, like, I'm going to take the pen for a second. I'm going to write this chapter because I have a really good plan. And so I don't really want to surrender because, like, it's going to be so good. Like, you don't know. It's going to be so good. And then it's like, no, I'm going to give you the pen back and, like, know that, like, this chapter is actually going to be more beautiful no matter what I surrendered, even if it felt so big and, like, I'll never see that part of me again, or whatever it is. And it's like, no, like, it's back in a more beautiful way, or taken, but something else is in its place, and it's better. It's always better with him. So
That's so good.
It's always better with him. We say our life isn't our own. And then, like, how often we try to take it back. Sure. Here's my life, Lord,
for today.
And then for me, it's always been the wrestle of timing, his timing and the delay of the Lord, and that here's my life. I lay it at your feet. But Lord, if I'm truly honest, I think your timing is awful. Like, I've had so many seasons where I'm like, Lord, I surrendered, and you're just slow at responding, or slow in your promise. And so singing that song, for me, it's been years of infertility. And, like, Lord, I think too, as, like, a pastor and as, like, someone who's been in full-time ministry for decades, it's this, like, Lord, I surrender, and I have just, wasted my life at your feet and in ministry and doing all these things for you, and you owe me. And so this song is, stands up against that, and it's like, nope, I trust, like, not an ounce of, what I've given is wasted. I trust you with my life. No matter what it looks like, I'm going to continue giving you my love, my heart. And it's been, for me, because here we go, vulnerability. It's the delay. It's the timing of the Lord, and me wanting at times the Lord to turn into a vending machine. God, I give you this much of my heart, my life, my service, my praise, my worship. And in return, surely
for sure,
there's a kickback. Surely there's a candy bar in the vending machine, that thing I've been asking for. And so this song helps that perspective shift for me. Like, that's not what this is. This is me wasting my life at the feet of Jesus because he's worth it. Not an ounce is wasted. This is my offering, my gift to you. And then the trust comes in that this is not wasted. God is a good God. And then we surrender, and we wait, and we know, like, the history and the story of our lives is God's faithfulness, his goodness, him coming through in crazy ways. And, the thing about the Lord too, yes, there's a lot of delay, but then there's those moments, those suddenly moments of God where he does break through. And so,
I think the end of the bridge, no matter what the outcome, you are worthy, God. Like, I think that's where it
tough
lands. It's like, do I really want to
why
say
did we put that in there?
Why is it? It's at the end, kind of pulls it fast. That's a tough line.
So I think that's where that's surrender. Like, no matter what the outcome, like, I'm not going to dictate what you do for me because I'm doing these things for you. Like, that's not how it works. And so,
it's. We could probably talk through every single line of these songs. Of the song. The all of my attention. I choose the one thing needed, and it's just like, even just that phrase of, like, it's not the thing that I want, or maybe at the time, but it's like, this is the one thing that's needed. There's so much in this song. It's beautiful to hear and sing, and then if you sing it and mean it, you're like, actually, should I have sang that? Like, it's like, this is an intense song. And so, it's beautiful. So, let's, as we land the plane on this, like, let's talk to that person who is like, they're singing this song, or they're hearing this song, and they're like, that seems hard. that's like, I actually don't know how to do that. I'm afraid to do that. I don't like, you're asking me to give Jesus everything and to not care about the outcome, to give up my dreams, my desires, to say none of it's a waste. Like,
it's easy, guys.
Yeah. So it's
so
like
easy.
So not be afraid of what anything costs. Like, what would you say to that person who's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I can do this.
I think starting with honesty is your safest bet, and saying that and telling the Lord that, and he gives grace just in those places of honesty, because it is so hard, and there is a lot of fear wrapped around surrender. I think we walk around with our like tight clenched fists, and like Rachel was saying, there is like a process to it. Like, I do think like it gets a little bit looser, but then it's like, oh no, you're not coming through, so I'm going to clench it again. And so I think it requires honesty. I think it comes back to looking at Jesus, remembering who he is. I think it's being a good steward of what the Lord has done and recording those testimonies, those miracles of when he has come through in the delay, and that remembrance. Remembrance is key to surrender. And so it's doing that. And if you don't have stories, getting around people who do have stories, and also knowing that you do have stories.
Right.
But yeah, I think the song kind of shows the progression. You sit at his feet, and there's this natural progression of sitting with him, being with him. Okay, I want to give you a little bit more. Okay, I'm trusting you a little bit more. Like, here it is. And I think but it does start with just acknowledging it. And it is hard. It's not easy to surrender. It's hard.
Yeah. But he's kind and patient.
Yeah, so kind and patient. Yeah.
He's not annoyed, just waiting for you to let
it go.
Through this so that we can get going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like to think of it too. Here's everything, my everything today that I'm able to give, and then tomorrow there's more that I can give. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's a journey. Even just having access ourselves to what I'm able to offer the Lord. I think in a moment, like, right, a new believer, kind of like, everything for Jesus, like, I don't know what it means.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Yeah, right. But then
the
next,
commitment.
Right, it's a huge commitment. I'm in.
Yeah.
Next day, rubber hits the road. It's like, okay, I can, and there's, it's a progression, and it's, right. It's not the one time everything for Jesus. We know it's daily.
Yeah.
But I think what we're able to offer him shifts as life goes on. And I think as we build our history in the Lord, right, and we've seen his goodness, his faithful hand, the way he came through in this way, okay, actually that empowers me. It gives me faith even to surrender more. And, I think the thing that I surrendered today, there's something else I didn't surrender today. I didn't know I needed to, or that it was like on the table, or that I was holding on to things. And so the kindness of the Lord too, to help us in that progression of things, and the next layer, the next level, deeper in surrender, because we can only surrender what we know that we have.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's so good.
So good. Oh, I love that. Well, thank you guys so much. It's a beautiful song. And thank you for just stewarding that moment, and just stewarding, thank you for actually opening up your journal and sharing with us.
Thank you, Natasha.
Thanks, Rachel, for pushing me.
So thank you, Rachel, for pushing Natasha. I have tried over the years, and so it just took you, actually.
It doesn't work so well when it's the spouse.
No. Now when I'm like, hey, I've actually seen that. Why don't you? And she's like, no.
No.
So, but I just, I know I've said this in our last episode too with you guys, but you guys are an incredible picture of just like faithfulness and surrender and giving everything. I know your life, and I know a decent amount of your life as well, and just like the actual choices of surrender that you guys make every day. And so not only are you guys leading people in it in song, but you're actually living it out in your life. And so just honor you and love both of you. So I love you more, but I love both of you. So so anyway, thank you so much.
Yes.
So we hope you enjoyed this conversation. Make sure you subscribe and join us on the next episode of the Radiant Podcast.
our feet. We give all of our attention.